Well, we're back, and there's another piece of the sawmill we're going to work on today. So this here keeps the blade steady. It's got some little wood pegs here, and you can clamp it in. Keeps the blade from shaking. It's a little bit frozen up. It's been outside with the rest of the mill for a long time, so we're going to see if we can get this freed up, and maybe we'll get it ready for paint. I'll probably paint a bunch of these parts all at once when have them ready to go. But for now, we're going to see if we can free it up. It's a W. Hamilton manufacturing company. So, once again, different manufacturer than most of the rest of the mill. So, but it's all here. This part works. That spins, but the plate doesn't, so we'll have to free the plate from the handle. And this center pivot is pretty locked up. I think if we can get this nut off, we can take it apart and clean it out and get that freed up. There isn't a lot here. It's all cast, so it should come apart nicely, but it's the next piece we're going to do. So, I think we're going to start and see if we can get this nut off of here. If we can do that, that'll get into a little more manageable pieces, and then we'll shift over to this. I did soak everything down with some penetrating oil earlier, so I don't know how much that's going to help. It's usually sort of does something. You can see the timbers are rotted out. I didn't have to unthread anything when I took it apart. But it's just got a square head on the bolt on the back. And I guess I should show you how they went together. So it's set flat on the frame, and the blade ran right here. And to adjust this crank, you can adjust one of the jaws, and then this one adjusted the other jaw. So you could pinch in on the blade and get it centered up and make sure it ran true. But if it doesn't move, it won't do much good. So, I think I got a nice socket here. I'm going to have to tap it on, it's a little buggy. Makes life easier. And well, this will move at all. That might be frozen too. So I'm going to shock it to get it to move. It. It is stuck. A little tap and there we go, we'll heat it up. Heat is magical for that stuff. If you put the nut back on the end, you don't bugger the threads up. That's not really moving. Freed up though. Let's get one of the chunks off. Alright, that's the just caught here. This pin looks like it's been swapped out for a nail. Don't surprise me. It should. Big nail, it's probably fitting to use a pry bar. Yeah, it's just a sinker. Casting looks okay. A little bit of rust, but it's still pretty smooth. I'll clean this all up with a wire wheel. Might sandblast it. Depends if I get over to the sandblaster or not. There's the first section. And that turns freely, so once we clean up the rust, I'll chase the threads, but they don't even really need it. So that's good. Let's see if we can bring it up a little bit. Open. Look at that. You're getting some movement now. You get a pry bar on there. Do two, one from each side, you can pull evenly. Pretty nice usually. Again, it's not coming up evenly. I got a gap over here, but not much over here. Wiggle it. Alright, that came apart, so not too bad. It's not the best casting. Got a whole bunch of hollows and voids. Look at that, all that stuff. That's cast iron, that's just a bad casting. But the surfaces that mate are all good, so that probably doesn't really affect it too much. Obviously it worked for quite a while as it is, so we'll keep using it. Junk's been in there for a while. I don't think this bolt's ever really coming out. RR75. I'm not sure what that means. If anybody knows anything about these castings, leave a comment. I'd be curious to find out. And I think we'll chase this thread out here quick. Just get that cleaned up. It's got a little bit of rust and junk in it. I'm sure that'll make it a little easier to use. So we got a 3/4 10 thread pitch. Just throw a little cutting oil on here. a lot nicer with a little oil. Not really cutting much, just cleaning them up. Oh, the only cutting we're doing is really anything that's been really bungered up or rust in the threads. A little harder than I think it would go. Yeah, see how nice it is? Comes out cleaner. Just go a little hard, I'm gonna clamp it down. Usually when chasing them out, they don't try to spin on me like this, but I'm sure it's had a hard life on the sawmill. A little bit of metal to cut. There. Nice and cleaned up. Those threads will work a little bit easier. Yeah. A lot more the way it's supposed to be. Easy on, it'll come on off. The nut on here has been whacked quite a few times before I did too. So, I don't know if some of that they're trying to lock it in place. We'll see how it goes. You don't really want to get these too tight. It pitches everything, you can't adjust it. You kind of want it to lock, so that may be what they're up to. If you dent the nut, it'll stay in place. We might just get a stover nut, put it back together, but so now we got the base plate. That's ready to get the rust off. And our top, ready to take the rust off. That's good to go. We'll save these little wood blade guides here. They aren't anything fancy, but be a good template to have an idea how to make the new set. It's not rocket science or anything, but at least have a reminder when it goes together. The last part, this casting's good. We got the hand wheel here, which has been brazed up before. It's spinning on the shaft, but the plate that's supposed to be bolted to the wood is pretty well locked onto the hand wheel, so we'll see if we can get this freed up. Might need a little heat, I don't know. We'll give it a few taps first, see if we get anywhere. The rust flying off it. fine balance. You hit too hard, you're going to dent and damage the parts, but nice little light tap on this heavier stuff usually is pretty good to just knock the rust free. So, there we go. I'd say that's going to work. So, I guess that's about a quick update for right now. The rest of this, I just need to get the rust off of here. I'll see if I can take this through a blast cabinet and get this all cleaned up and ready for paint. And hopefully we'll do a video in a little bit here. We've got a handful more pieces like this that aren't all that big, but need to free them all up. I'll see if I can get a bunch of it sandblasted, and then we'll spray it all at once, get it all painted up and ready to go back together. So, hope you enjoyed it. If you guys know anything about these particular brands or parts, certainly leave something in the comments. I'm a little bit newer to sawmills of this vintage, but so I know there's definitely some history to it. Hope you enjoy it. If you do, like it, subscribe it. Hope to see you later.